Alex Reed tried not to stare at the 3-meter-tall alien sitting next to him in the classroom. The creature had blue scales and 4 arms, each one thicker than Alex's entire torso. When it breathed, the sound reminded Alex of a steam engine. This was his classmate. This was normal here. Nothing about the Galactic Battle Academy felt normal to Alex. He was the first human ever admitted to this place. The Academy floated in space near a purple nebula, training the best warriors from hundreds of alien species. For 800 years, they had produced legendary soldiers. Everyone here came from species that dominated their home planets. Apex predators, born hunters, natural killers. Humans were none of those things. The instructor entered the room. Her name was Toller, and she belonged to a species called the Kryn. She had 4 arms like Alex's classmate, but her body was covered in red armor plates that grew naturally from her skin. Her eyes were solid black. When she looked at Alex, he felt like prey. "Tomorrow is the bonding ceremony," Toller announced. Her voice echoed through the room. "You will meet the war beasts. One will choose you. Together you will become a battle unit. This bond is sacred. It has created the greatest warriors in Confederation history." Alex had heard about the war beasts. Every cadet bonded with one. These creatures were intelligent, deadly, and loyal. Razorwings could tear through metal with their talons. Siege boars could knock down walls. Shadow panthers moved like smoke and struck like lightning. The list went on. A cadet behind Alex whispered something. Others laughed. Alex didn't need to understand the alien language to know they were mocking him. It happened every day. Toller continued her lecture. "The beasts choose based on spirit compatibility. They sense your warrior essence. They know if you are worthy." She paused, her black eyes fixed on Alex again. "Some of you may not be chosen at all." More laughter. This time, Toller didn't stop it. After class, Alex walked through the academy corridors alone. The halls were huge, built for species much larger than humans. He felt like a child in a world made for giants. Other cadets passed him, their conversations falling silent as they noticed him, then resuming with what sounded like jokes. A massive cadet blocked his path. His name was Ryloth, and he came from a species that looked like walking armored tanks. Gray skin, small eyes, built like a boulder. He was the best fighter in their class. "Human," Ryloth said. The translator device made his words sound cold. "Why are you here?" "Same reason as you," Alex replied. "To train." "No." Ryloth stepped closer. "I am here because my species conquered 3 star systems before we joined the Confederation. My grandfather killed a void serpent with his bare hands. What has your species done?" Alex knew the answer. Humans had barely left their own solar system when they encountered the Confederation. They had no great victories, no legendary warriors, no terrifying reputation. They were just there. "We survived," Alex said quietly. Ryloth laughed. It sounded like rocks grinding together. "Everything survives until it doesn't. Tomorrow no beast will choose you. You will fail, and your species will be remembered as the one that didn't belong." He walked away. Alex stood in the corridor, fists clenched. That night, Alex couldn't sleep. His quarters were small, designed for his human size. The Academy had built them specifically for him. Everything here was specifically for him because no human had ever needed it before. He was an experiment, a curiosity, a joke. He accessed his data pad and read about the war beasts again. Each species had produced different types. The Kryn bred razorwings. Another species called the Thorians created siege boars through genetic engineering. Shadow panthers came from a jungle planet where everything hunted everything else. These creatures were perfected killing machines. Alex found a small file at the bottom of the database. It was marked Terran specimens. Terran meant Earth, his home. He opened it. The Confederation had taken genetic samples from Earth when humans first made contact. As a goodwill gesture, they had grown several Earth creatures to study. Most were in stasis, stored away. But a few had been brought to the Academy. One entry caught Alex's attention. Mellivora capensis, common name honey badger. Status, failed war beast evaluation. Recommendation, return to stasis. There was a note from a handler. Subject is impossibly aggressive. Attacked staff 3 times. Escaped containment twice. Fought a juvenile razorwing and refused to submit even when clearly losing. Cannot be trained using standard methods. Dangerous and unstable. No tactical value. Alex stared at the words. A creature from Earth. A creature that failed every test. A creature that didn't belong here, just like him. He closed the data pad and lay back. Tomorrow would decide everything. Tomorrow some powerful creature would choose a worthy cadet. Tomorrow everyone would see if humans belonged at the Battle Academy. Tomorrow, Alex would probably stand alone while magnificent beasts bonded with magnificent warriors. He thought about the honey badger entry. Dangerous and unstable. No tactical value. He almost smiled. That's probably what the Academy wrote about him too. The next morning arrived faster than Alex wanted. He put on his training uniform and joined the other cadets. They gathered in a massive hall, hundreds of young warriors from dozens of species. Everyone wore their species' traditional markings. Alex wore plain clothes. Humans didn't have warrior traditions old enough to matter. Instructor Toller stood at the front. Behind her, massive doors led to the beast sanctuary. Today you meet your destiny, she said. The creatures beyond these doors have been trained since birth for this moment. They are warriors. They seek warriors. Walk among them. Let them judge you. If you are worthy, you will know. The doors opened. Alex saw a vast biodome stretching ahead, filled with artificial environments. Mountains, forests, caves, rivers. Each habitat housed different war beasts. Cadets filed in, excited and nervous. Alex walked with them, trying not to feel like the universe's biggest mistake. The bonding had begun. The beast sanctuary smelled like 1,000 different worlds mixed together. Earth jungle humidity met alien desert heat met frozen tundra cold, all in the same massive biodome. Alex watched other cadets spread out, each drawn toward different habitats. They moved with confidence. They belonged here. A razor wing chose first. The magnificent creature landed in front of a four-armed cadet, spreading wings that sparkled like metal. The cadet reached out. The beast lowered its head. Everyone watching cheered. First bond complete, Alex kept walking. He passed the mountain habitat where siege boars lived. One cadet was already kneeling, forehead pressed against a massive boar's snout. Their minds connecting, their futures merging. Everywhere Alex looked, bonds were forming. Creatures recognized their partners. The recognition was instant, obvious, perfect, like the universe had designed specific pairs and was now putting them together. Nothing looked at Alex twice. He walked past shadow panthers lounging in artificial trees. They watched him with intelligent eyes, then looked away. Not interested. He passed rock formations where armored creatures called shieldbacks lived. They didn't even glance up. He approached a water habitat with serpent-like beasts. They dove deeper, avoiding him. Hours passed. The biodome slowly emptied as bonded pairs left together. Alex found himself alone near the far edge of the sanctuary. This area was different, smaller. The habitats here had reinforced barriers and warning signs. He understood why when he read the labels. These were the problem cases. War beasts that failed evaluation, creatures too unstable, too aggressive, or too unpredictable for military use. The Academy kept them here, planning to eventually return them to stasis or their homeworlds. Alex walked past several containment areas. A bird-like creature that had attacked its handlers. A reptile that refused all commands. A mammal from some ice planet that only bonded with its own species. Then he saw it. The containment area was double reinforced. Scratches covered the transparent barrier from inside. The habitat was simple. Rocks, a water source, some vegetation. And in the middle, staring directly at Alex, was the honey badger. It was smaller than Alex expected. Maybe 3 feet long, stocky body, gray and black fur, small ears, claws that looked too big for its paws. Nothing about it seemed impressive compared to the majestic razor wings or powerful siege boars. It looked ordinary. Almost cute if you didn't know better. Alex read the display panel. Subject designation: Havoc. Earth species: Malivera capensis. Failed all combat evaluations. Scheduled for stasis return. The honey badger hadn't stopped staring at him. Its eyes were dark, intelligent, and completely fearless. Alex had seen documentary videos about these animals back on Earth. They attacked lions. They raided beehives and ignored thousands of bee stings. They fought venomous snakes and got bitten, passed out from the venom, then woke up and finished eating the snake. They were evolution's middle finger to the concept of knowing when to quit. You're the one they can't control, Alex said quietly. Havoc tilted its head. Still staring, Alex looked around. The sanctuary was nearly empty now. In the distance, he could see the last few cadets bonding with their beasts. Beautiful moments. Perfect partnerships. Everything the Academy promised. He was alone at the reject corner with a creature nobody wanted. They probably wrote the same things about me, Alex said to Havoc. Too weak. Wrong species. Doesn't belong. No tactical value. Havoc approached the barrier. Its movement was confident, almost casual. It sat down directly in front of Alex, separated only by the reinforced glass. Alex sat down too. They were at eye level now. The honey badger's gaze didn't waver. It wasn't judging him like the other beasts had. It was just watching, waiting. I don't know what I'm doing here, Alex admitted. Everyone says humans don't belong. Maybe they're right. Maybe I should go home. Havoc made a sound. Not aggressive. Almost conversational. Like it was disagreeing. You don't think so? Alex smiled slightly. You're stuck in a cage because you won't follow their rules. I'm stuck at an academy where nobody wants me. We're both mistakes according to them. The honey badger stood and placed one paw against the barrier. The gesture was clear, deliberate. Alex felt something shift in his mind. It wasn't dramatic. No lightning bolts or mystical energy. Just a quiet click like a door unlocking. Suddenly he could sense the creature's emotions. Not words, but feelings. Stubbornness, courage, a complete refusal to submit to anything, and recognition. The honey badger recognized him. Alex stood up and placed his hand against the barrier, matching where Havoc's paw pressed. The bond formed. He felt it solidify, like invisible threads connecting their minds. They were partners now. The Academy's sensors would register it. The instructors would know. The human had bonded with the reject beast. Footsteps approached. Instructor Toller appeared, datapad in hand. She stopped when she saw Alex and Havoc. Her forearms crossed. Her expression was unreadable. You bonded with Havoc, she said. It wasn't a question. Yes, Alex replied. This creature failed every evaluation. It cannot be controlled. It attacks without strategy. It ignores commands. It is by every measure unsuitable for military service. Sounds familiar, Alex said. Toller's eyes narrowed. This is not a joke, cadet. The bond is permanent. You cannot choose another beast. You will train together or fail together. I understand. Do you? Toller stepped closer. Every other cadet bonded with a proven war beast. Creatures with centuries of tactical breeding. You bonded with an animal your own planet barely tolerates. When training begins, you will compete against razorwings, siege boars, shadow panthers. You will lose every exercise. You will embarrass yourself, your species, and this academy. Alex looked at Havoc. The honey badger stared back. In that moment, Alex felt the creature's absolute confidence. Not arrogance, just certainty. The kind of certainty that came from never backing down no matter what. Maybe, Alex said. Or maybe everyone's been measuring wrong. Toller studied him for a long moment. Finally, she unlocked the containment barrier. Take your beast. Report to training grounds at dawn. I hope you prove me wrong, cadet. But I have trained warriors for 70 years. I know what makes a soldier, and I know what doesn't. She walked away. The barrier lowered. Havoc trotted out immediately, moving to Alex's side. Up close, the honey badger was solid muscle under thick fur. Scars marked its body from past fights. This creature had lived hard and fought harder. Alex knelt down. Havoc looked up at him. Through their bond, Alex felt the creature's simple philosophy. Don't quit. Don't submit. Don't care what anyone thinks. Just fight. They're all going to laugh at us, Alex said. Havoc made that conversational sound again. Alex understood somehow. Let them laugh. They left the sanctuary together. Outside, other cadets walked with their magnificent beasts. A razorwing perched on its partner's shoulder. A siege boar walked beside a massive cadet, perfectly matched in size and power. Shadow panthers moved like liquid shadows next to their bonded warriors. Then came Alex with Havoc trotting beside him. The honey badger looked like a pet. Like something harmless, cadets stared. Someone laughed. Others joined in. Even the war beast seemed to look at Havoc with something like confusion or pity. Ryloth stood with his newly bonded siege boar, a massive creature called Titan. He saw Alex and Havoc and started laughing so hard his entire body shook. The human got the reject beast, he called out. Perfect match. 2 failures together. More laughter spread through the group. Alex felt his face burn with embarrassment. But through the bond he felt Havoc's response. The honey badger didn't care. It had been laughed at before. Underestimated before. Dismissed before, and it was still here. Alex straightened his shoulders. Tomorrow, training would begin. Tomorrow, they would prove whether the academy was right. Tomorrow, everyone would learn what a honey badger really was. Training began badly and got worse. The first exercise seemed simple. Warbeasts had to follow basic commands from their bonded partners. Sit, stay, attack on signal, return on signal. Every other pair performed perfectly. The razor wings responded instantly to mental commands. The siege boars moved like trained soldiers. Shadow panthers executed complex maneuvers without hesitation. Havoc ignored everything. Alex sent the mental command to sit. Havoc wandered off to investigate a rock. Alex commanded attack on the practice dummy. Havoc attacked immediately but didn't stop when Alex called return. The honey badger destroyed the dummy completely, tearing it apart long after the exercise ended. When Alex finally got close enough to physically touch Havoc, only then did the creature calm down. Instructor Toller made notes on her datapad. She didn't look surprised. She looked like someone watching an expected disaster. 0 points, she announced. The beast must respond to mental commands. Physical touch is not tactical. In combat, you cannot always reach your partner. Other cadets whispered. Someone laughed. Ryloth stood with Titan, both of them watching Alex and Havoc with obvious contempt. The second exercise tested combat coordination. Bonded pairs had to fight training bots together, moving as one unit. Alex watched other pairs first. A cadet and his razor wing performed an aerial attack that looked like a dance. Beautiful, deadly, perfect synchronization. Then came Alex's turn. The bots activated. Alex tried to coordinate with Havoc, sending mental suggestions for strategy. Havoc had its own strategy, charged directly at everything. The honey badger hit the first bot like a furry missile, claws and teeth everywhere. No tactics, no finesse, just pure aggression. They won technically. All bots were destroyed, but it took twice as long as other pairs, and Havoc ignored every command Alex sent. Fighting is not the same as winning tactically, Toller said. Your beast has power but no discipline. This is why it failed evaluation. Days became weeks. Every exercise followed the same pattern. Other cadets excelled while Alex and Havoc struggled. The honey badgers simply didn't work like other war beasts. Those creatures had been bred for thousands of generations to bond with warriors, to follow commands, to fight with strategy. Havoc was a wild earth animal that evolution designed to be too angry to die. Alex spent his nights researching. He watched videos of honey badgers on Earth. He read behavioral studies. He learned that these creatures didn't have pack hierarchies like wolves or pride structures like lions. They were solitary, independent. They survived by being too tough and too stubborn to kill. Every other war beast at the academy came from species that valued cooperation and hierarchy. Commands worked because the creatures understood leadership. But honey badgers didn't follow leaders. They just did what they wanted, and anything that disagreed got clawed. Alex started experimenting. Instead of commanding Havoc, he tried suggesting. Instead of forcing coordination, he tried working around the honey badger's natural instincts. If Havoc wanted to charge directly at enemies, Alex planned tactics that used aggressive charges. If Havoc refused to retreat, Alex ensured they never needed to retreat. It was backwards from everything the academy taught, but it started showing results. The next major exercise was capture the beacon in a simulated urban environment. Teams of 3 bonded pairs competed to control a central objective. Standard strategy involved coordinated assault, supporting teammates, defending positions. Alex had a different idea. We're not going for the beacon, he told Havoc before the exercise. Through their bond, he sent feelings rather than commands. Chaos, disruption, attack. The exercise began. 6 teams entered the urban simulation from different directions. Ryloth's team moved toward the beacon with military precision. 2 other teams established defensive positions. Everyone followed standard tactics. Alex and Havoc went hunting. They found Ryloth's team first. Titan and Ryloth were advancing down a main street, confident and powerful. They never expected an attack from behind. Havoc hit Titan's rear legs while Alex used a training weapon to simulate damage on Ryloth. The big cadet went down, shocked. His team's Razorwing tried to intervene, but Havoc was already gone, disappearing into a building. What are you doing? Ryloth's voice echoed in the simulation. The objective is the beacon. Alex didn't answer. He and Havoc hit another team, then another. They weren't playing the objective. They were removing other players. Each attack was fast, brutal, and unexpected. Havoc's natural aggression became an advantage. The honey badger didn't care about fair fights or tactical positioning. It cared about winning. By the time someone finally captured the beacon, 3 teams had been eliminated by Alex and Havoc. The team that won only succeeded because they weren't fighting Alex. They won because Alex had destroyed their competition. The simulation ended. Cadets emerged looking confused. Instructor Toller's expression was complicated. "You lost," she told Alex. "The objective was to capture the beacon. You never attempted it." "No," Alex agreed, "but I stopped 3 other teams from winning." "That is not the exercise. In real combat, isn't stopping enemies the point?" Toller's forearms crossed. Several other instructors had gathered, watching the replay of the exercise on screens. They spoke among themselves in languages Alex didn't understand. Finally, Toller turned back to him. "Your tactics were unconventional," she said carefully. "You ignored the objective completely. You fought without honor or strategic purpose." "I fought to win," Alex replied. "Havoc doesn't do honor. Havoc does damage." One of the other instructors, an older warrior with 6 eyes, stepped forward. "The human makes a point. In war, disrupting enemy operations is valid strategy. Unconventional, but valid." "It was reckless," Toller insisted. "It was effective," the 6-eyed instructor countered. 3 experienced teams were eliminated by one pair that everyone calls the worst in Academy history. Perhaps they are not the worst. Perhaps they are simply different. Toller didn't respond, but Alex saw something change in her eyes. Not respect yet, but reconsideration, like she was looking at a puzzle she'd previously ignored. Later, in the training grounds, other cadets approached Alex. Not friendly yet, but curious. One asked, "How did you move so fast in the simulation? We never saw you coming." "Havoc doesn't move like your beasts," Alex explained. "War beasts are trained to move tactically. Havoc just moves. No patterns. No predictability." Another cadet, this one bonded with a shadow panther, said, "My partner hunts with stealth. Your beast hunts with chaos." "Different tools," Alex said. "Same goal." Even Ryloth grudgingly acknowledged the exercise. "You still lost," he said. "But you made me lose too. That takes skill. Or insanity. Maybe both." Training continued. Alex stopped trying to make Havoc behave like other war beasts. Instead, he learned to be a partner to something wild and untamed. He discovered that honey badgers might not follow commands, but they understood cooperation. When Alex fought beside Havoc instead of commanding from behind, they moved better together. When Alex matched the honey badger's aggressive energy instead of trying to control it, they became more effective. Other cadets started noticing. In sparring exercises, Alex and Havoc pulled off wins that shouldn't have been possible. They lost plenty too, but the losses stopped being embarrassing disasters. They became learning experiences. Growing pains. Instructor Tolar watched every exercise. She made notes constantly. One day she pulled Alex aside after training. "You are not bonded the way others bond," she said. "Traditional pairs have hierarchy. Commander and weapon. You and Havoc are something else." "Partners," Alex said. "Equals. That should not work." Centuries of tradition say war beasts need strong leadership. Havoc isn't a war beast. Havoc is just a honey badger. Toller studied Havoc, who was busy digging a hole for no apparent reason. "Your creature is chaos, unpredictable, impossible to plan around." "Yes," Alex agreed. "But isn't that useful too? If I can't predict what Havoc will do, enemies definitely can't." For the first time, Tolar smiled slightly. "The tournament begins in 2 weeks. Every cadet pair will compete. The winner represents the Academy at the Confederation Military Games. You will face the best warriors here, bonded pairs with perfect coordination and centuries of tactical breeding behind them. We'll be ready," Alex said. "You'll be destroyed," Tolar replied. But her tone wasn't mocking anymore. It was almost respectful. "But perhaps you'll surprise us again." "You have already surprised us more than any human should." Alex left the training ground with Havoc trotting beside him. 2 weeks until the tournament. 2 weeks to prove that different didn't mean wrong. Tournament day arrived with ceremony and spectacle. The Academy's main arena filled with spectators from dozens of species, students who weren't competing, instructors, even some Confederation military officers who came to scout promising talent. The winner of this tournament would represent the Academy at the Confederation Military Games, the most prestigious combat competition in known space. 60 bonded pairs had qualified. Alex and Havoc ranked 57th. The opening ceremony showcased the favorites. Ryloth and Titan entered to massive cheers. They looked unstoppable together, moving with synchronized power. A cadet named Diana with her razor wing performed an aerial display that drew gasps. Another pair, brothers from a hive mind species with a pack of smaller war beasts, demonstrated perfect coordination. When Alex and Havoc entered the arena, the response was different. Some spectators laughed. Others just looked confused. The human and the small furry creature. The joke pair. The underdogs who shouldn't have made it this far. Havoc didn't seem to notice or care. The honey badger looked around the arena with what Alex had learned to recognize as interest. New place, new things to investigate, maybe new things to fight. The tournament structure was simple but brutal. First round, survival against automated combat drones. Second round, arena combat against another bonded pair. Winners advanced until only 2 pairs remained for the final. Alex drew an early slot for the first round. He entered a separate arena with Havoc while spectators watched on screens. The environment was basic. Flat ground, few obstacles, nowhere to hide. 20 combat drones activated around them, armed with weapons that delivered painful but non-lethal strikes. Other pairs had completed this challenge with careful tactics. Shadow Panthers used stealth to pick off drones individually. Siege boars tanked damage while their partners coordinated attacks. Razorings used mobility to stay out of range. Alex had watched all these approaches. He planned something simpler. Go, he told Havoc, sending feelings of aggression through their bond. The honey badger charged. No strategy. No finesse. Pure attack mode. Drones fired at Havoc, but the creature's thick hide and natural toughness absorbed hits that would drop other beasts. Havoc reached the first drone and destroyed it with claws and teeth. Then the second. Then the third. Alex didn't try to coordinate or command. He just supported. When drones surrounded Havoc, Alex drew their attention. When Havoc got hit hard, Alex pulled aggro so the honey badger could recover. They didn't fight as commander and weapon. They fought as 2 fighters covering each other. It wasn't pretty. Havoc took damage. Alex got hit multiple times, but drones kept falling. The honey badger's relentless aggression never stopped. When drones adapted and spread out, Havoc just picked targets and chased them down. The creature didn't understand tactical retreat. It only understood forward. 12 minutes later, all 20 drones lay destroyed. Alex and Havoc stood in the arena, battered but victorious. The time wasn't impressive compared to leaders, but they had won. In the viewing area, Instructor Toller watched with several other evaluators. One commented, "Inefficient, too much damage taken. Poor tactical awareness, but effective," another replied. "That creature doesn't stop." "Nothing stops a honey badger," Toller said quietly. "They are too stupid to know when they're beaten." Round 2 matched Alex against a pair he'd trained with. Good fighters. Their war beast was a shadow panther named Whisper, known for speed and tactical hunting. In any reasonable match, Whisper would dominate Havoc. Faster, bigger, bred for combat over thousands of generations. The arena was more complex for round 2. Buildings, obstacles, shadows. Perfect terrain for a shadow panther. Terrible terrain for a honey badger that just charged at things. The match began. Whisper vanished immediately, using shadows to hide. Its partner, a cadet named River, moved to high ground for visibility. Standard shadow panther tactics. Wait for the perfect moment. Strike from surprise. End quickly. Alex felt Havoc's confusion through their bond. The honey badger couldn't find the enemy. For the first time in the tournament, Havoc seemed uncertain. Then Alex realized something. Shadow panthers were ambush predators. They relied on prey that feared surprise attacks. They used intimidation and stealth to create psychological advantage before striking. Honey badgers didn't understand fear. They didn't respond to intimidation. The entire Shadow Panther tactical approach assumed opponents would be scared. "Don't look for them," Alex sent to Havoc. "Just make noise." Havoc understood immediately. The honey badger started destroying obstacles, knocking over barriers, tearing into walls, making chaos, creating so much noise and movement that stealth became impossible. Whisper tried to find an opening, but there wasn't one. Havoc didn't create vulnerable moments. The honey badger was always moving, always destroying something, always making the environment more chaotic. Finally, Whisper had no choice but to attack from a less-than-perfect position. The Shadow Panther struck fast, but Havoc turned into the attack. The honey badger's thick hide protected vital areas. Before Whisper could retreat back to shadows, Havoc grabbed on and didn't let go. No tactics, just determination. Shadow Panthers were bred for speed and stealth, not prolonged close combat. Whisper tried to escape, but Havoc held on. The honey badger didn't care about elegant fighting. It cared about not losing. River tried to help, but Alex intercepted, keeping the fight one-on-one between beasts. The match ended when Whisper submitted. The Shadow Panther was exhausted from trying to escape Havoc's grip. It could have kept fighting, but the psychological impact was clear. This small, stubborn creature would not quit, ever. Spectators reacted with surprised noise. The underdogs had won again, not through superior skill or tactics, through pure refusal to lose. Alex advanced to the quarterfinals, then the semifinals. Each match followed similar patterns. Opponents had better beasts, better training, better everything. But Havoc didn't care about better. Havoc cared about not stopping. The semifinal match was against Ryloth and Titan. This was the moment everyone expected Alex's tournament run to end. Titan was everything Havoc wasn't. Huge, armored, powerful. The siege boar had won every match by overwhelming force. The arena for semifinals was larger and more complex. Multiple levels, hazards, obstacles. It was designed to test every aspect of combat capability. Ryloth and Titan entered to massive cheers. Alex and Havoc entered to confused applause. The mismatch seemed obvious. The match began. Ryloth immediately sent Titan charging. The siege boar moved like a tank, unstoppable momentum. When Titan charged, you got out of the way. That was the smart tactical choice. Havoc charged back. The collision was spectacular. Titan outweighed Havoc by hundreds of pounds. The impact should have destroyed the honey badger. Instead, Havoc rolled with the hit, claws finding purchase on Titan's armored hide. The honey badger climbed onto the siege boar's back and started attacking weak points between armor plates. Titan bucked and spun, trying to throw Havoc off. Ryloth commanded his beast to use the environment, slamming against walls to crush the honey badger. But Havoc held on. The creature's claws were designed by evolution to dig into beehives defended by thousands of angry bees. Titan's armor was tough, but not that tough. The match went 15 minutes, then 20, then 30. Neither beast would quit. Titan was stronger and larger. Havoc was more aggressive and more stubborn. Ryloth grew frustrated. Alex stayed calm. He knew Havoc's simple philosophy. Don't quit, ever. At 37 minutes, Instructor Toller stopped the match. Enough, her voice boomed. Both pairs have demonstrated exceptional combat spirit. Both advanced to finals. The arena erupted in shocked noise. A draw, that never happened. But both beasts were still fighting. Neither would submit. The match could have continued for hours. Ryloth looked at Alex across the arena. His expression was complex. Respect mixed with frustration. Your beast is insane, he called out. Your beast is incredible, Alex replied. But Havoc doesn't know how to quit. Titan and Havoc were separated. Both creatures were exhausted and injured, but still ready to fight. That was the moment Alex realized something important. Havoc wasn't winning through superior combat ability. Havoc was winning because the honey badger simply refused to accept defeat. And somehow that was enough. The finals were scheduled for the next day. Alex would face either Diana and her Razorwing or the brothers with their beast pack. Both were incredible warriors. Both had perfect records. As Alex left the arena, other cadets looked at him differently. Not mocking anymore. Not laughing. They saw someone who had fought his way to the finals with the creature everyone called a failure. Instructor Toller approached. Tomorrow you face the best this academy has trained in decades. You should not have gotten this far. I know, Alex said, but you did. You and that impossible creature. Toller looked at Havoc, who was busy licking his wounds. I still don't understand how you fight. It breaks every rule. Maybe, Alex said. Or maybe there are different kinds of fighting. Tomorrow would prove which way was better. Alex spent the night in the medical wing with Havoc. The honey badger had taken serious damage during the semifinal. Cuts covered his body. One eye was swollen. Several claws were broken. Any other creature would be out of commission for weeks. Havoc was grooming himself and trying to escape the medical bed. Subject refuses sedation, a medical technician reported. She was a species Alex didn't recognize, with too many fingers and eyes that saw into different spectrums. His injury response is unusual. Pain seems to make him more aggressive, not less. That's normal for honey badgers, Alex said. They don't really do pain the way other animals do. The technician made notes. Fascinating. His healing rate is also accelerated. These wounds should take days to close. They're already sealing. Alex reached through the bond to check Havoc's condition. The honey badger was tired and hurt, but not defeated. Never defeated. Through their connection, Alex felt Havoc's simple assessment of the situation. Injuries were temporary. Fighting was forever. Other visitors came through the night. Diana stopped by, her razor wing perched on her shoulder. She had won her semi-final match and would face Alex in the finals. I watched your fight with Ryloth, she said. Your beast took hits that would kill most war creatures. Havoc's built different, Alex replied, clearly. Diana studied the honey badger with professional interest. My razor wing is faster and has greater range. In any tactical analysis, we should dominate tomorrow. Probably, Alex agreed, but you'll fight anyway. Always. Diana smiled slightly. You know what's strange? When you first arrived, we all laughed. Humans seemed weak. Your beast seemed useless. But watching you fight, I realized something. You don't win because you're stronger. You win because you never consider losing an option. Havoc taught me that, Alex said.
Honey badgers don't have a reverse gear. After Diana left, Ryloth visited.
Without his armor, the massive alien looked almost gentle. He sat carefully on a reinforced chair and watched Havoc for a long moment. Titan is my family's legacy, Ryloth said quietly. 7 generations of warriors bonded with siege boars from his bloodline. I was supposed to win this tournament easily. Bring honor to my ancestors. You still might, Alex said. Diana is tough. I was talking about you. Ryloth turned his small eyes to Alex. I mocked you, called you weak, said humans didn't belong. I was wrong. I'm not strong like you, Alex said. No, you're strong differently. Ryloth gestured to Havoc. That creature weighs maybe 30 pounds. Titan weighs 800. By every measure, your beast should be irrelevant in combat. But he climbed onto Titan's back and refused to let go. For 37 minutes. Titan has never been pushed that hard. Different doesn't mean wrong, Alex said. I'm beginning to understand. Ryloth stood. Tomorrow, whoever wins, the Academy will learn something. They'll learn that there are many kinds of strength. After Ryloth left, Instructor Toller arrived. She carried a data pad and looked like someone who hadn't slept. Her 4 arms gestured as she spoke. I've been reviewing combat footage from all your matches, she said. Analyzing your tactics. Trying to understand how you reached the finals. And? Alex asked. You have no tactics. That's your tactic. Toller sat down, all 4 arms folding in a gesture that might have been frustration or respect. For 800 years, this academy has taught one truth. War beasts require strong leadership, discipline, hierarchy, command structure. You ignore all of it. Havoc won't follow commands like other beasts, I know. I watched him bond with you. I predicted failure. Toller looked at Havoc. I've trained thousands of warriors, bonded hundreds of pairs. I know what makes a soldier: strength, speed, tactical thinking. Your beast has none of these at elite levels. So why are we in the finals? Toller was quiet for a moment. When she spoke, her voice was different, softer. Because your beast has something we've forgotten to value. Something we've bred out of our war creatures over centuries of tactical refinement. What's that? Absolute refusal to quit. Toller pulled up combat footage on her datapad. Look at this moment. Whisper, the Shadow Panther. Objectively superior fighter. Faster, stronger, better trained. But when your beast grabbed hold, Whisper's instinct was to escape, to retreat, to find a better tactical position. That makes sense, Alex said, does it? In that moment, Whisper had the superior position. Claw's teeth weight advantage. Whisper could have won if they'd committed fully to the fight. But centuries of tactical breeding taught Shadow Panthers to fight smart, to avoid unnecessary risk, to survive and fight another day. Havoc doesn't think like that, Alex said. No. Your beast thinks fight until you win or until you can't fight anymore. There is no middle ground, no retreat, no recalculation, just absolute commitment. Toller showed another clip. Here against Titan, any reasonable creature would have let go and slammed against that wall. The impact should have broken bones. Your beast held tighter. Alex watched the footage. Havoc taking brutal hits, never letting go, never considering that maybe this was a fight to abandon, just holding on because holding on was what honey badgers did. We've made war beasts too smart, Tolar said. Too tactical. They know when to retreat, when to reposition, when to choose survival over victory. These are good instincts for staying alive, but sometimes staying alive isn't enough. Sometimes you need a creature too stubborn to know when it's beaten. You think that's what humans are too? Alex asked. Tolar looked at him directly. Your species shouldn't have survived your own planet. No claws, no armor, no natural weapons. By all logic, you should have died out. But you didn't. You hunted animals faster than you by following them until they collapsed. You survived winters that should have killed you by refusing to die. You turned every disadvantage into an advantage through sheer stubbornness. We're persistence hunters, Alex said. That's what the history books call it. You're survivors who don't know when to quit, Tolar corrected. And that's more valuable than we understood. The Confederation has fought wars for thousands of years. We've perfected tactical combat, trained elite warriors, created perfect war beasts, but we've forgotten something important. Sometimes the battle isn't won by the best fighter. It's won by the fighter who refuses to lose. Havoc chose that moment to finally escape the medical bed. The honey badger hopped down despite protests from the technician and walked to Alex. Through their bond, Alex felt simple satisfaction. Injuries were annoying, but they were healing. Tomorrow there would be more fighting. That was good. Tolar watched this with an expression Alex couldn't read. Finally, she stood. The finals tomorrow are not like previous rounds. All semi-finalist teams compete together. Multiple objectives. Environmental hazards. Combat against instructor-level opponents. It's designed to test everything you've learned. Sounds complicated, Alex said. It is. Victory requires coordination, tactics, and strategic thinking. Tolar paused. All things you and your beast are terrible at. We'll figure it out, Alex said. I believe you might. Tolar turned to leave, then stopped. Alex, read. When you first arrived, I wrote in your evaluation that you would fail, that humans weren't warrior material, that you didn't belong at this academy. I remember. I was wrong, not because you proved yourself strong like others are strong, but because you showed us a different kind of strength. One we'd forgotten existed. She left the medical wing. Alex sat with Havoc, processing everything. Outside the window, he could see other cadets training in late-night sessions. Diana practicing aerial maneuvers with her razor wing. The brothers synchronizing their beast pack movements. Ryloth running strength drills with Titan. They were all preparing for tomorrow, all using the tactics and training methods the Academy had perfected over centuries. Alex looked at Havoc. The honey badger was now trying to sharpen his claws on the medical bed frame. No sophisticated training, no tactical preparation. Just a creature being exactly what it was, too stubborn to quit. We're not going to win by being better, Alex said to Havoc. We're going to win by being us. Havoc made that conversational sound. Through the bond, Alex felt agreement. They were never going to be perfect warriors. They were never going to be the strongest or fastest or most tactical, but they could be the most stubborn. And sometimes that was enough. Tomorrow would prove it one way or another. Finals Day transformed the main arena into something beyond a sporting event. Confederation officials filled VIP sections. Military scouts watched from observation decks. Every student at the academy crowded into viewing areas. This wasn't just about determining a tournament winner anymore. This was about proving philosophies. About showing which approach to combat training worked best. 4 teams stood ready. Diana and her razor wing sky dancer aerial perfection. The brothers with their beast pack synchronized hunters. Ryloth and Titan unstoppable force. And Alex with Havoc, the pair that shouldn't have made it this far. Instructor Tolar stood at the center of the arena. Behind her, a massive holographic display showed the battlefield they would enter. Not a simple arena this time. A complete environment, urban ruins, collapsed buildings, underground tunnels, elevated platforms, hazard zones marked in red, multiple objective points scattered throughout. The finals test everything, Tolar announced. Combat capability, strategic thinking, tactical adaptation, environmental awareness. You will face instructor teams. Automated defense systems, structural hazards. Your goal is simple. Survive and complete objectives. Points are awarded for objectives captured, enemies defeated, and hazards overcome. Highest score wins. She paused, looking at each team. But understand this. The instructors you face have decades of combat experience. The hazards are real. The environment is unforgiving. This is as close to actual warfare as training allows. Some of you may not finish. The holographic display zoomed in on specific areas. 3 primary objectives. Alpha, rescue simulated civilians from collapsed structures. Beta, disable an enemy command center. Gamma, secure a supply depot. Multiple secondary objectives throughout. You have 2 hours. Begin when ready. The teams entered separate transport pods that would drop them at different starting positions. Alex felt Havoc's excitement through their bond. The honey badger loved new environments, new things to explore, new things to fight. The pod descended into the battlefield. Through the window, Alex saw the massive constructed environment. It looked real. Damaged buildings, smoke, debris. The academy had built a war zone they dropped on the eastern edge. Diana's team landed north. The brothers went west. Ryloth took the southern approach. The distribution was deliberate, forcing teams to choose their paths carefully. Alex studied the objective markers. Alpha was closest but would be swarming with other teams. Beta and Gamma were farther but might offer better opportunities. Traditional strategy said go for the closest objective first, establish a strong position, score early points. Alex decided to ignore traditional strategy. Again. We're going deep, he told Havoc. Through their bond, he sent feelings of exploration and chaos. Find trouble. Make noise. Disrupt everything. They moved through the ruins. Havoc's low profile made navigating debris easy. The honey badger squeezed through gaps and climbed over obstacles that would slow larger war beasts. Within minutes, they encountered the first instructor team, 2 experienced warriors with a veteran war beast. They held a strategic choke point, controlling access to the beta objective. Standard doctrine said avoid superior forces. Find another route. Don't engage unless necessary. Havoc charged. The instructors weren't ready. They expected cadets to respect their position. Havoc didn't respect anything. The honey badger hit their war beast low and fast, causing chaos. Alex followed up, using the distraction to disable one instructor's equipment. They didn't win the fight exactly, but they created enough chaos that the instructor team had to fall back and regroup. Alex and Havoc kept moving. They weren't playing for points. They were playing to make everyone else's plans fail. Diana's team reached Alpha objective first. Through the arena's broadcast system, spectators watched her and Skydancer execute a perfect rescue operation. Aerial precision. Careful extraction. Textbook performance. They scored heavily. The brothers found a cluster of secondary objectives and swept through them with coordinated efficiency. Their beast pack worked like a military unit. Beautiful to watch, effective. More points. Ryloth and Titan pushed toward beta objective with raw power. They smashed through obstacles and crushed automated defenses. When they encountered an instructor team, Titan simply overwhelmed them. Even more points. Alex and Havoc triggered every alarm and hazard they could find. They destroyed automated defenses not for points but to make the environment more chaotic. They harassed instructor teams without trying to defeat them. They turned the battlefield into a disaster zone. It made no sense strategically, but it worked. Diana tried to reach the Gamma objective but found her path blocked by hazards Alex had triggered. The brothers attempted to secure their position, but got caught between automated defenses that Alex had activated. Even Ryloth's push toward Beta got complicated when structural damage from Alex's chaos caused a building to collapse, blocking the main route. An hour into the finals, the score showed Diana in the lead. The brothers second, Ryloth third, Alex dead last with almost no points. By every measure, Alex was losing badly, but everyone else was losing momentum because the battlefield had become unpredictable. Instructor Toller watched from the control room with other evaluators. One commented, "The human is failing. Zero tactical awareness. He's accomplishing nothing." "Is he?" Another instructor replied. "Look at the patterns. Every time another team establishes a strong position, that pair disrupts it. They're not playing to win. They're playing to prevent anyone else from winning easily." Toller pulled up tactical analysis. The instructor was right. Alex and Havoc moved like chaos agents. Wherever they went, plans failed. It wasn't elegant or efficient, but it was effective at a different level than scoring points. "Unconventional warfare," Toller said quietly. "They're not warriors. They're survivors making everyone else survive less." The finals entered the second hour. Exhaustion affected everyone. Diana and Skydancer had scored well but taken damage from hazards. The brothers' beast pack was tiring from constant movement. Even Titan showed signs of wear from non-stop fighting. Havoc looked like he'd been through a war. Cuts, bruises, one ear torn. The honey badger should have been finished. Instead, Havoc seemed more energized. Like pain and exhaustion just made the creature angrier. Alex felt it through their bond. Havoc wasn't measuring victory by points or objectives. Havoc measured victory by still being in the fight. As long as they could move, they hadn't lost. The final objective appeared, an emergency beacon at the center of the battlefield. Capture it for massive points. All teams saw it simultaneously. This would decide the tournament. Diana's team moved first. Skydancer flew toward the beacon with incredible speed. They would arrive first easily. The brothers coordinated an intercept course. Ryloth and Titan charged directly. All three teams converged. Alex and Havoc were nowhere near the beacon. They were stuck on the opposite side of the battlefield, blocked by debris and hazards. No way to reach the objective in time. Alex looked at the battlefield layout, looked at the converging teams, looked at the structural damage he and Havoc had caused throughout the match. An idea formed, a terrible, reckless, probably stupid idea. "We're not going for the beacon," Alex told Havoc. "We're bringing the battlefield down." Through their bond, he sent the plan. Target the weakest structural points, the ones they'd identified while causing chaos. Trigger a cascade failure. Make the entire center area unstable. Havoc understood immediately and loved the idea. They hit the first support structure, then the second. Alex used his remaining equipment to overload a major power conduit. Havoc clawed through a critical support beam that was already weakened. The battlefield began collapsing. Not catastrophically, but enough. The center area, where all teams were converging, became a danger zone. Automated safety systems kicked in, shifting the beacon to a new location randomly. It appeared right next to Alex and Havoc. The arena erupted in shocked noise. The human pair that was losing badly suddenly had the winning objective within reach. Pure luck, pure chaos, pure honey badger energy. But other teams were already adapting. Diana redirected Skydancer. The brothers shifted formation. Ryloth and Titan charged across unstable ground. Alex grabbed the beacon. Havoc took a defensive position. They just had to hold for 30 seconds to claim it. 30 seconds against the three best teams in the academy. Skydancer arrived first. The razor-winged dove with talons extended. Havoc met the attack head-on, grabbing Skydancer's legs. The two creatures tumbled. Diana tried to help, but Alex intercepted. They fought while the beacon timer counted down. The brothers' beast pack surrounded them. Multiple angles of attack, professional and coordinated. Havoc took hits from three directions but wouldn't let go of the beacon. Alex fought desperately to keep the brothers back. Then Titan arrived. The massive siege boar could end this instantly. Ryloth commanded the charge. Titan built up devastating momentum. Havoc looked at the approaching Titan. Through the bond, Alex felt the honey badger's assessment. Can't win this fight. Too big, too strong, too much, but Havoc charged anyway. Because that's what honey badgers did. The collision threw Havoc back. The honey badger crashed into debris, clearly hurt. Alex's heart sank, but Havoc got up, shaking, bleeding, barely able to stand, and the creature charged again. Titan stopped. The massive siege boar just stopped charging. Ryloth felt it through their bond and understood. Titan wasn't afraid of Havoc. Titan was impressed. This small creature that should have stayed down kept getting up, kept fighting, refused to quit no matter how badly outmatched. The beacon timer hit 0. Alex had held it long enough. Victory. But the arena was silent. Nobody celebrated. All the teams just stood there watching Havoc. The honey badger was still ready to fight despite everything. Instructor Toller stopped the simulation. Finals concluded. Winner: Alex Reed and Havoc. The announcement felt anticlimactic. Alex didn't feel victorious. He felt exhausted. Havoc collapsed, finally allowing exhaustion to win. Alex ran to his partner, checking the bond. Still there. Still strong. Havoc was just tired. Finally too tired to keep fighting. Medical teams rushed in. They took Havoc immediately. Diana approached Alex, Skydancer perched on her shoulder. She didn't look angry about losing. She looked thoughtful. "You won on luck," she said. The beacon appearing near you was random. I know, Alex agreed. But you earned that luck by making the battlefield chaotic. By refusing to play the game normally. By being so reckless that probability broke in your favor. Ryloth joined them, Titan following. The massive siege boar looked at Alex with something like respect. Your beast is the toughest fighter I've ever faced, Ryloth said. Not the strongest. Not the fastest. But the toughest. Titan could beat him in every measure of combat. But Titan could never break him. The brothers approached, their beast pack surrounding them peacefully. They spoke in unison, their hive mind making words creepy but sincere. We fight with perfect coordination. Your beast fights with perfect determination. Both are valid. Later, after medical teams confirmed Havoc would fully recover, Instructor Toller called Alex to her office. She looked like someone reconsidering deeply held beliefs. You won the tournament, she said. You'll represent the Academy at the Confederation Military Games. This has never happened before. The worst-ranked team becoming champion. We got lucky, Alex said. Did you? Or did you create conditions where luck could favor you? Toller pulled up tournament statistics. You scored lowest on objectives, lowest on combat defeats, lowest on tactical execution, but highest on environmental disruption, highest on unpredictability, highest on pure stubborn persistence. Havoc doesn't know how to do it any other way, Alex said. Neither do humans, apparently. Toller showed him historical data. I've been researching your species' military history. Do you know what I found? Humans don't win wars by being superior. You win by outlasting, by adapting, by refusing to accept defeat until the enemy gives up first. We're persistence hunters, Alex said. We evolved to just keep going. And that, Toller said, is something we've forgotten how to value. The Confederation has perfected tactical warfare. We create elite warriors. We train optimal combat. We've won every war through superior capability, but we've never faced an enemy that simply refuses to lose. An enemy that doesn't care about tactical disadvantage or superior force. An enemy that just keeps coming. You think humans are that enemy? No, I think humans are that ally. Toller smiled, something Alex had never seen her do. You and your impossible beast taught this academy something valuable. Strength comes in many forms. Sometimes the greatest weapon isn't the sharpest blade. It's the will to keep fighting after the blade breaks. Months passed. Alex and Havoc competed at the Confederation Military Games. They didn't win, but they didn't lose badly either. More importantly, they made people think. Military analysts studied their approach. Tacticians debated the value of chaos warfare. Training programs started incorporating unconventional thinking. More humans joined the Battle Academy. Each brought Earth creatures that nobody expected. Geese that protected their territory with insane aggression. Wolverines that fought animals 10 times their size. Mantis shrimp that punched with the force of bullets. Cassowaries that kicked with velociraptor energy. Every creature shared the same trait, too stubborn to know when they were beaten. Alex became an instructor himself, teaching survival combat. Not how to win through superior force, but how to win by refusing to lose. His classes were popular with cadets who didn't fit traditional warrior molds. One day, a new human cadet arrived. A young girl named Riley. She was small, nervous, and clearly didn't belong at an elite combat academy. Other cadets already whispered. Already judged. Already laughed. At her bonding ceremony, Riley stood in the beast sanctuary while magnificent creatures ignored her. She ended up at the problem case area just like Alex had. And there, eyeing her with intense curiosity, was a bird. A goose, a Canadian goose to be specific. Other cadets saw this and laughed. The new human got bonded with a bird that was basically a loud, aggressive waterfowl. A joke creature. A worthless partner. Riley looked terrified. The goose looked offended by everything in existence. Alex walked over to them, Havoc trotting beside him. The honey badger had gray in his fur now. Battle scars covered his body, but his eyes still held that same fearless intensity. They're laughing at me, Riley said quietly. At us. They laughed at me too, Alex replied. They said I didn't belong. That Havoc was useless. That humans were too weak. What did you do? Alex looked at the goose. The bird was already trying to bite other cadets who got too close. Pure chaotic aggression wrapped in feathers. It was perfect. We proved them wrong by refusing to lose, Alex said. That goose might not be a razor wing or a siege boar, but geese are mean, territorial. Absolutely convinced they can fight anything. Just like honey badgers. Just like humans. Riley touched the goose's neck. The bond formed. Through it, she felt the bird's simple philosophy. Everything is a threat. Attack everything. Never back down. Honking is warfare. What if we fail? Riley asked. Then we fail fighting, Alex said. But something tells me you won't. Humans don't fail because we give up. We only fail when we stop trying. And from what I can feel about that goose, stopping isn't in either of your vocabularies. Riley smiled slightly. The goose honked aggressively at a passing razor wing. The magnificent war beast actually backed away from the angry waterfowl. Alex and Havoc walked away, leaving the new cadet to start her own journey. Behind them, more laughter echoed. More mockery. More doubts about humans and their weird earth creatures. But Alex didn't care. He'd heard it all before, and he knew how the story would go. Because honey badgers don't care what anyone thinks. Geese don't care who they fight. And humans, at their core, were just persistence hunters who refused to know when they were beaten. The Academy would learn. They always did. One stubborn human at a time.